Hi, my name's Kim, and I'm going to be your prof for CMPT 140 over the 2023 summer session. You'll notice on my screen here I have two teaching assistants. Oh, the pointing is all backwards. The one at the top here, there we go, is Rambo, and the one at the bottom here is Vader. They are both my French bulldogs. Occasionally you might see them in the background of my video. I'm not sure if they'll ever make an appearance, but their virtual selves are present to help us learn about programming and computer science. You can feel free to call me Kim, Kimberly, Prof Kim, Dr. McKay, Prof McKay, whatever is most comfortable to you. I typically go by Prof Kim. That's just what I've used over the years, but I really don't have a preference. I have taught this course before, as well as many of the first year computer science courses. This one might be my favorite, but shh, don't tell anyone. I am currently the manager for data science and AI at WestJet. I have lots of good stories of how I use computer science over there to solve real world problems for the airline. And I also have my PhD in computer science from the University of Saskatchewan. I'm really looking forward to spending these 6 weeks with you. I fondly remember when I took my first computer science course. Again, it was also over the summer. I started out with quite a bit of apprehension, so I, before then, did not think that I would like computer science. I was quite worried that I wouldn't be good at it, quite worried about figuring out this thing called programming, and as I went through the material, I really fell in love with it, and look where I am today. So, I mean, you never know. You could be watching this video and then 6-7 years down the line, also be the manager for AI and data science at WestJet. If that happens, you'll have to reach out and let me know. All right. So let's just jump into it. This set of slides that we have here in this video is just going to go over a quick introduction for the course, go over some important material, things like how we're actually going to do this course over the summer, important deadlines, the course website, different things like that. All right. So the very first thing that I want everybody to do, and I really encourage you to just pause the video after I explain this and go do it, is to navigate over to the course website on Canvas, and in the discussion boards, find the MISC discussion board and do a little About Me post so that everybody can get to know each other in this virtual setting. You'll know you're in the right place if you see my post where I did the same thing. So I did a little quick background on my experience in computer science, and then I also shared my favorite cookie and my favorite video games, because of course I can't pick just one. If you have any other things that you'd like to share, little fun facts, please do. It's really going to help me get to know you over these next 6 weeks. All right, so as I mentioned, I have taught all of these first year computer science courses, and you might be sitting there wondering, why is there 3? What does this mean? And am I in the right place? So just to give a quick overview, we have at the University of Saskatchewan 3 intro computer science courses. So CMPT 140, which is this course right here, 141 and 145. 140 is going to be a very intro into programming. It's expected that you have no or very limited prior programming experience. So if you're taking this course and you do know how to program, a lot of this is going to be review. And instead of this course, you could maybe jump into the next one, which is CMPT 141. So that's going to be an introductory course where you would have some background. Maybe you took a class in high school, maybe you had done this as a hobby for the last few years. You have some idea of maybe what a variable is and what a loop is and different things like that. Still goes over all of the information that we cover in CMPT 140, but just a lot quicker. And then 145 is the third course and the final course for first year. It's going to build on all of the principles that are taught in CMPT 140 and 141. Why should you take it? Are you in the right place? So it's really intended for students who have no background in programming, as I mentioned. If you have no background in programming, you can still major in computer science. You just would want to start with this course first. So you'll take all 3 of those intro courses. You'll also want to be in this course if it's required for your program. So there's sometimes requirements, depending on what program you're registered in, that you take a computer science course. This would be a fit for that. If you want a science credit, so typically with our degrees, you'll have to take select courses from some group of courses. This course would fit for a science credit. Or if you want to be a better scientist, engineer, technical writer, etc. That last one is actually what got me started into computer science. So my undergrad was actually in biochemistry. I am a self-proclaimed big nerd, and I was doing research at Agriculture Agri-Food Canada. And I knew the kind of research that I wanted to do, I would need to either find somebody who knew about programming or learn it myself. And I figured after I was done my degree that I would just learn it myself and see how it went. They weren't going to take my degree away at that point, and it really didn't matter other than a personal interest and some professional development. And I ended up really, really enjoying it, and look where I am today. If you want a faster start, if you have a computer science background, you can register instead for CMPT 141. The biggest recommendation I would have here, if you're still confused, would be to talk to an academic advisor, because they'll be able to help you down that journey. You can post as well on the discussion boards, and I can try to help you through that, find you the right emails, etc. I'm not employed as a professor, obviously, by the university, so I wouldn't be an academic advisor for the department, but I know who is, so I can help get you linked up. All right. So there is a couple of different progression paths. CMPT 145 is the key course that you would need to finish to move on to the second year computer science courses. So typically, if you want to take computer science 140, if you start in the summer like you are, you'd be able to take 141 in term 1 and then 145 in term 2. There's also, you could take 140 in term 1, 141 in term 2, and then 145 in the spring and summer. So typically our first year computer science courses are always offered in the spring and summer. All right, we're going to switch over here to the course website. So if you found this video, you likely have already found the course website, or you're really good at the YouTube algorithm. One or the other. I don't think my keywords or my SEO on YouTube is that good that it would just show up on your homepage. So I'm assuming you've all found the course. We're going to flip over to that and go through that quickly. Then we might skip a couple of these slides that we have here if we went through that material already. All right, so just give me one moment here to move my stuff around. Hooray, I did it, success. So this is the course website. It's campus.usas.ca, and you should be able to find it in your courses over on the side. Should look very similar to other courses that you've seen before. It's very similar structure to other computer science courses that you'll see if you continue down that path. We have a few different bits of information and resources right at the top. So we have an overview of the course schedule. It gives a calendar view of all the different due dates for things. This page here shows you how you can get and the opportunities you have for help throughout the course. So there's lots and lots of different things. Please take a look at that. One of the biggest things in here is that we will be using a Discord for help sessions and labs and different things like that. The reason that we do that is because it allows us to have an environment where we can have a little queue set up so that you can say, hey, I'd like help, and it's kind of a first come, first served basis. And then we can also jump into voice calls where we can share screens, or you can share your screen with either the TA or with me, and we can take a look at your code so you're not posting it on any kind of forum or things like that, because we want to try to prevent that from happening, since it's a violation of our collaboration policy, which is in the syllabus, and it's also really, really risky in terms of academic misconduct. But I'll talk a little bit about that later. To get into the Discord, what I'll want you to do is navigate to this page on the course website. So remember, it was just on the homepage. It was like the second click down. You will, very first time that you ever go to the Discord, use this Discord invite link down here to get it. It will take you there and allow you to join. Once you've done that, you don't need to keep on clicking the invite link. You can just use the Discord link that I have down here. You'll know you're in the right place if I just flip over here. It's going to look a little something like this. So you're going to have a rules page that you can read through. It gives us the schedule, a place to ask text-based questions if you'd prefer doing that here versus on the Canvas discussion boards, and then the queue. So the queue is going to be the main thing that we'll need to use for our help sessions and our lab hours. If you want help, one-on-one help from a TA or from me during those times that are scheduled, and we'll go through that a little bit more detail in a bit, you just have to click this join button. It will add you into the queue, so you'll see your name pop up here. And then the instructor, the TAs, we can pull you from that. When we do, you'd be able to join these voice channels where we would chat through your questions and maybe take a look at your code, different things like that. You can also leave whenever you want and just go like that, okay? So usually the button here is going to be the easiest way to interact with that, all right? It might take a little bit to get used to, but it's going to be a very popular tool in your computer science classes for these types of things. I would also recommend that if you use Discord recreationally, you create a new account linked with your university email so that you can make it your name or your NSID instead. It just helps us keep a bit more of a professional environment in that learning space instead of it just being linked with maybe some Discords you're involved with for games or whatever it might be. So again, that was just the Discord. You get that through this link here, right under course information, getting helps with labs, assignments, course material, etc. We have a couple of different course resources here. So we have the syllabus. It is effectively our contract between me and you of what we're going to do over this term. You have to read the syllabus. I am not going to sit here and read it through for you. That's very, very boring. We'll cover a couple of the key points there, but you need to read it through so that you know everything that's expected of you. There are some things in there that have to be followed in order for you to get credit for the class. So things like writing the final exam. All the details of that are in the syllabus, as well as all of our policies on things like academic misconduct, things like collaboration, things like extensions, etc. So you can find that all in there. And if you have questions, post about them on the discussion board. Come to help hours. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. There's also a link to our textbook. So as I mentioned, our textbook was created by Jeff and Brittany. It is available free for anyone who takes this course, and it is a requirement that you do the readings in the textbook. So before or at the beginning of every week, I'll let you know what chapters that we're going to cover. You need to read those chapters before you do the associated exercises for those chapters. This is how we structure all of our first year classes, and it works really, really, really well for learning. So you'll make sure that you you can access this textbook, download a copy for yourself, and get used to going through it and reading it. It's actually quite good, in my humble opinion. And I'm looking forward to going through it with y'all. We're going to be using processing as the language or the IDE for this course. It's effectively a wrapper for Python. If you want to get a head start for downloading it, you can click this link here. I will also post a video later on about how you can go about downloading that. Down here, we have every single week what we're going to be doing posted. So you can click in at the beginning of the week to the learning resources page. It will tell you what chapters to read. It's going to give you the slides or the exercises for those chapters, the solutions, and then I will also be posting a video for each chapter. It's also going to tell you everything that's due for the week. So we'll have labs that are due and assignments that are due. It's going to be pretty quick, like very fast paced, because we only have 6 weeks. We have 15 labs that we have to get through and 6 assignments. So it's a weekly assignment and more than weekly labs that we have to get through, but we will get through it together. And other than that, we have things like the discussion boards. So you'll see it here. You should have been able to navigate to this page already to do the get to know us posts. So that would be in this MIST discussion board. We also have discussion boards for things like course questions, assignment questions, code lab questions, etc. So you can post in there as well. You can expect to receive a response within about 24 hours at most. Unless it's over the weekend, it might be a little bit longer, okay? All right, so let's jump back to the slides here. There we go. So that was a quick overview of the course website. You'll get a lot more of that throughout the term. You'll get really comfortable using it, etc., as well as a quick overview of the Discord. I'm going to skip through a couple of things here since we already talked about it. We don't need to talk about it again. How is this course actually going to work is probably a question you've been asking yourself. So it will be asynchronous content. I will do videos for each of the chapters. Like I mentioned, every week you'll go to those learning resources. You'll say, okay, what chapters are we going to do? Read through those chapters, take a look at the exercises, attempt the exercises, and then watch those solution videos. We have lab exercises, so I've assigned dates where each of the labs are due. They are suggested dates to help keep everyone on schedule, but because it is 6 weeks and I know that things happen, for the labs and the labs only, you are allowed to submit them anytime before the semester is done without penalty. The assignments, the weekly assignments, on the other hand, are pretty strict with the deadline. So because we have six assignments, that means one assignment a week. That's a lot. That's a really quick pace. We have to be very, very strict with those deadlines. So those we will not accept late submissions for. The deadline is the deadline. It's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every Wednesday, except for the 1 week where Wednesday is our midterm break. That 1 week, the assignment will be due Thursday, and it's all documented in those deadlines already. The final exam is scheduled by the registrar's office, so it will also be remote, but it will be at a defined time that I don't get to pick, the university picks. So you need to be able to be available for that time to write that exam. And so there is, I believe, 3 days for the exam period at the end of the term. I think it's August 18th to 22nd, but maybe don't quote me on that. I wrote it down somewhere else where I verified that information. You need to make sure that you're available those days, and as soon as we know what date and time the exam will be, I'll let you know. It'll be open book, online, but you have to write it at the time that the university specifies. So if you are overseas, that might mean really big time differences. Make sure that you're okay with that before you continue with this course, okay? We already went through this here, so you'll see more of this happening on the course page as you work through the content. And then here is how the breakdown of the grades will happen. This is all in the assignment or the course syllabus. So if you've read that, which you should have, then you'll already know this. But we have 6 assignments, each of them worth 7% of your final grade for a total of 42% of your final grade. 15 code lab exercises worth 2% of your final grade each. So that'll be a total of, that should say 30. What is this math? Oh no. And then your final exam worth 28% of your final grade, which again will be online, but at that defined time. Already with the typos, we got to get used to this. I'm a little notorious for my typos. I apologize. So the very first assignment is going to be due next Wednesday. So make sure that you're ready to run with this course. We got to start right now. Start working through that textbook, start learning the materials, start participating in the help hours and the tutorials, etc. As I mentioned, labs will have due dates, but you can submit late and it won't be penalized. That is not the case for assignments, though. I will repeat that multiple times. So all of our lab exercises are going to be done through something called Code Lab. You can do this and you will do this directly on the course website. So when you click on the lab, it will bring up the Code Lab. Code Lab are very short programming exercise, and the point is to practice. It'll give you immediate automatic feedback, and you can resubmit until you get it right, and there's no penalty for wrong answers. So in theory, you should be able to get 100% on the lab portion of this course. If you're having problems with labs, attend the tutorial sessions, attend the help hours. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. Code Lab can sometimes be a little finicky, and it really, really, really can help having someone else look at your code and help direct you there. But that should be a TA or an instructor. It should not be another member of the class, just to protect everybody from any potential academic misconduct, all right? Assignments, as I mentioned, are due every Wednesday at 8 p.m. They're going to be longer programming questions that will be marked by real humans, not machines. We'll aim to have your feedback back to you before the next assignment is due, and I will post the solutions to the assignments as well before the next assignment is due so that you can make adjustments, learn from mistakes, continue to grow, etc. Here. See, I knew I had it somewhere where the exam period was. The final exam period is August 18th to 22nd, so make sure you're available for those dates. I don't know yet. I haven't heard when it will be scheduled, but as soon as I do, I will let you know. We already talked about the textbook, and then here's just a little bit more about CodeLab. So CodeLab you have to pay for. It's $25 USD. You'll need to pay for it with a credit card or a PayPal once you start doing the exercises. There is, I think, 10 or so free questions that they give you. So you can try it out, make sure you're liking the course, but you will need to purchase it eventually in order to finish this course. You can buy it through the university bookstore, but it's going to be more money. Don't rush to pay. Go through your free exercises, free questions first, and then once you're prompted to pay, go through it that way, okay? Once you know that you're going to continue with this course, because you cannot refund it, I believe. As I mentioned, we're going to be using processing. I'll post a video on how to install it, but if you feel comfortable installing software, you can go ahead and do it yourself already. And we're going to be using the Python programming language, which is a very common one. It's what's going to be used for the other first year classes as well. We went over this, but I just really want to reiterate, if you are stuck on something, don't suffer in silence. Reach out, go to the tutorial sessions, go to the help hours. Our regular lab or lecture hours, I will be online, except for on Wednesdays. I'm moving that till later in the evening just to accommodate the assignments. But I'll be online, available to answer questions. Really don't be shy, don't struggle alone. A whole part of programming and learning to programming is making mistakes and learning from those mistakes, okay? I still make mistakes, and I got my PhD in computer science. I'm often tracking down bugs, trying to figure out what went wrong here, and that's part of the joy of computer science, right? So please, please, please engage in those help sessions, engage in the different ways that you can get help so that you aren't struggling. Because with it being only 6 weeks, we don't have time to spend days and days and days and days on something, which is why we have so much help hours available to get you on track as quick as possible. And that's what we want to do. We're here to help. It's what we enjoy doing, right? So please don't hesitate. And you can always send me an email. I'll respond to it as soon as I can. I try to make sure that any kind of questions that I get in for the course while it's running get a response within 1 business day at least, but it's typically sooner. So please reach out. Academic honesty is the thing that we'll end on, I believe. Yeah, it's kind of all tied into one. So academic honesty, it's really risky doing computer science courses and following the academic honesty policy, because it can be very, very easy to share code, but you shouldn't. And I will caveat this with what this actually means. With computer science courses, we know there's things like ChatGPT out there. We know there's things like those homework helper cheater websites like Chegg and whatever. It's easy to Google things and look things up and whatever. And grab a little bit of code from Stack Overflow and pop it into your assignment. But that's not code you generated. The purpose of the class is to learn programming. And you're not going to learn programming by copying somebody else's code just to get something to kind of work. Do a little bit of what you want. Protect yourself by not copying solutions from the internet. Don't ever upload question text to the internet, because that's a clear violation of our copyright policy and could have legal consequences. And never, never, ever, ever, ever send your assignment code to another student. It can be uncomfortable. It can be like, oh, it's my friend. I know they wouldn't do this, but I have seen it all. And if you send your code to another student and they submit it as their own, both parties are implicated in academic misconduct, even if your intentions were pure. So protect yourself by not doing those things. Not doing these things doesn't mean you'll struggle alone. That's why we have TAs. That's why you have me here to help. I can look at your code. The TAs can look at your code. We can help you through that. You can still talk to other people in this class about solutions at a very high level, but you wouldn't want to say, oh, I did a for loop here to do this other thing over here, and then I made these 3 variables, and effectively just redoing your code, but in English. At a very high level, you can talk about approaches to solutions. We don't want you to struggle alone. We don't want you to have problems alone, but we also don't want you to commit any kind of academic dishonesty, whether it was intentional or unintentional. And of course, because this is a computer science course, we have checkers that we can run to see if it was generated by ChatGPT or a different kind of generative AI. We have checkers that we can run to see if your solution is similar to another person's solution in the course, and then deal with things like that. And we do. And it comes up every year. And I don't like dealing with it. It's my least favorite part of this job. Okay? Makes me sad. You don't want to make your prof sad, right? Can I appeal to any kind of emotion here? If you're doing something and you're worried about it, if you have a conversation with me first of, hey, is this okay? I can help guide you down that path. Once something is submitted, our hands are tied. And we have to deal with it through the proper university channels, okay? Always better if you have questions about it, want to have a conversation about it, come chat with me about it. Once it's submitted, I have to do what I have to do to follow the university policies, right? Don't post any of your actual code in our Discord or on our discussion forums, because it really does put everybody who reads those questions or those posts at risk. If you need someone to look at your code, you have to engage in either the tutorials or any of our help hours that we have, or set up a one-on-one appointment with me, okay? That's going to be the best way for you to protect yourself and everybody else from any kind of academic misconduct. I know that's a little bit of a salty almost or kind of scary thing to end on here, but it's a very important thing, and it comes up every year, and we want to get ahead of it, okay? Now, we've covered all of that. We're going to jump right into the course content. You can feel free to start reading the chapters 1 to 5 of the textbook. I will be posting the videos for those shortly. I suspect everything will be posted by Wednesday, when the first day that class starts. And I'm really, really looking forward to this semester with all of y'all. So see you all soon. Bye-bye.